What's going on, my fellow A-Plusters? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus More Phenomenal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider review and news right here on our YouTube page. It is I, your more phenomenal host, as always, Adam Perez, coming back once again with a brand new episode, ladies and gentlemen, as we are kicking off our Saturday right. We got a ton of news that we're going to be getting into for you guys today. Some Dino Fury stuff here and there, sprinkled in between with some Power Ranger Tokusatsu news, but we're going to end off hitting you with some great Super Sentai stuff that we definitely have to look forward to, guys, as we're nearing a ton of movies that are supposed to be released. And of course, we got Zenkaiger here dropping this March. So we're inching ever so closely to the premiere of some fantastic shows that we definitely have in store for you guys. But I hope everybody's week has gone certainly well. We've had some great content that went up for you guys this past week. I hope you guys enjoyed some of our Throwback Thursdays. I know some people were requesting, like, if we had any of our other Major episode reviews, if we could certainly go ahead and drop them. We did drop, I think, like 5 episodes from our previous YouTube channel, A Plus Opinions. We did drop our Major reviews for you guys here also. I think I managed to find episodes 17 through 21 or so. So those are in fact up on our YouTube page right now if you want to go ahead, check it out. And of course, we're definitely caught up to that. And we've got some great early access Patreon videos that now are in fact being dropped on our YouTube page in regards to the Godzilla reaction stuff. So I certainly hope you guys are definitely enjoying that. But let's see who's in the house with us today. Let's see who's showing us some love live in this episode today. We got the A Games 10. What's going on, man? Hey, first and foremost, the A Games 10, he managed to come up, he managed to find a great Dino Fury background that he wound up putting on Twitter the other day. And to say I utilized it is understated. If you go ahead and check the thumbnail, I definitely use that Dino Fury background. It looks fantastic, man. I love the way that background really sets. It's pretty dim at first. It really pops on sort of like a dark background, and then once you kind of lighten some of the lines and stuff, add some glow, it really starts popping. So I hope you guys enjoyed the thumbnail this week, but it's definitely give credit to the A Games 10 for finding that Dino Fury background. I thought it was spectacular. Isaiah's in the house. What's up, Isaiah? Thank you very much for certainly joining us. Blossom's in here. Definitely thank you very much for coming through with us. L'Oreal. Matthew, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Who else we got in here? Johnny. Oh wait, that's JB says what? I'm sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. It's like this thing just jumped on me all of a sudden. Hold on, where did I leave off at? Yes, Johnny Marrero. I know I had Johnny up there somewhere. He said, "What's up, man? Yesterday was my birthday. Happy belated birthday, then, Johnny. It's certainly good to see you, man. We'll definitely celebrate your birthday here today. Anthony certainly in the house. Thank you very much for coming through, Anthony. We got Frankie making his presence known. Fire Drake, what's up, man? Definitely good to see you in here as well. And properly, JB says what is here today too. Thank you very much for certainly coming through, guys. And I think that's it for right. Oh, you know what? Ram Jams popped up in here. We got Kwaku who's in here today too. We got Alexis certainly joining us as well. And I believe I said Doomsday. If I didn't say Doomsday, what's up, Doomsday? Good to see you in here, man. And of course, guys, definitely make everybody certainly feel welcome once they wind up coming in. Sometimes we tend to have stragglers. You know how it is. Today I have a challenge for each and every one of you guys today. Listen, I've been watching our videos, our analytics and things like that. We do tend to have a lot of live viewers that wind up coming in here. So do me a big favor. If you guys are in fact watching it as a live viewer, or even if you're coming to this video after the live stream, if you love our content this week, if you love this video, do us a big favor, hit that like button, guys. I would love to get over 30 likes this week if we certainly can. Go ahead and boost that up. So hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. And of course, feel free to leave your comments and things like that after this particular show airs. Before we get into the topics, though, you guys know we wanted to go ahead and just give you guys the heads up here. If you do have a live viewer question, feel free to go ahead and submit them over to us right now if you'd like to, or really any time during the week, perfectly honest. If you have a live viewer question that you definitely want to have asked on this show, because sometimes I don't get to everybody's comment in the live comment section, but if you do have a question, whether it be Super Sentai, Tokusatsu, in general, Power Rangers, feel free to go ahead and shoot that over to us today at aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. I just want to give you guys sort of a 2-hour warning to go ahead and submit your questions so that when we do get towards the end of this episode, we'll definitely go ahead and highlight those, guys. And again, you can go ahead and submit those over at any time during the week. And last but not least, guys, because we got to do some business around here, we got to keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? We, in fact, do have ourselves a Patreon account. If you want to go ahead and continue to support this channel in other ways, if you're certainly capable of it, definitely definitely go ahead and check us out. Patreon.com/A Plus Opinions. We've got great exclusive content, not only for A Plus Hero Report, but A Plus More Phenomenal as well, guys. Like, for instance, as of right now, we do have ourselves a couple of exclusives that are going on our Patreon. We have Patreon with our Zenkaiger reactions. I think right now we are up to episode number 17 of Zenkaiger, but only episode number 8 when it comes to our YouTube channel. So you definitely do get a nice head start here in regards to our Zenkaiger reviews if you're interested. And then, of course, to go ahead and continue to celebrate Zenkaiger and just anniversary seasons, if you will, we're going all the way back to 1975 with our Go Ranger reaction videos. This is, in fact, Patreon exclusive. This will not touch our YouTube page. So if you definitely want to go ahead and check out our reaction videos, definitely go ahead. We got some from Go Ranger. I really wanted the theme this year to really just kind of be enjoying the sort of anniversary seasons. Zenkaiger is going to be number 45. Zenkaiger is in fact going to be is season 35 if I'm not mistaken. And I thought, why not go to the beginning where we get to clearly see the influence of Zenkaiger himself with Aqua Ranger, and then of course Big One. For some reason, I always want to call him Big Boy. I don't know why I want to call the guy from Jack Big Boy all the time, but it's Big One. That actually might be sort of the next throwback, or I should say going back into time, Super Sentai season that we wind up doing after Go Ranger. I think after Zenkaiger, I'm really hinting towards the idea, like really leaning towards doing Shinkinger. So we'll see. I have seen Shinkinger just once. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I definitely would love to revisit that season as well. So maybe after Zenkaiger, we'll do Shinkinger. Maybe after Go Ranger, we'll tackle Jack. We'll certainly see, guys. But yeah, definitely go ahead and continue to show your support if you want to. And listen, we got different tiers for you guys. There's a $1 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier. The $1 tier does give you access to our community Discord, where we go ahead and really just talk about anything that we want to, really just to build our community, guys. So definitely go ahead and check it out whenever you get the chance. But other than that, guys, any last stragglers that wind up jumping in here before we get into today's topics? Uda Line, what's up, Line? Definitely appreciate you coming through today. Smell my peepees in here? Okay. Whatever, man. I hope you've been drinking your water. That's all I know. Dino Real Soul Fury, man. What's going on? Good to see you in here as well. AJ, thank you very much for certainly stopping by. And of course, Christopher Throbbins in here too, man. I'm loving these names, guys. Lawrence, how's it going today? I hope everybody's enjoying your weekend. Not sure what everybody has planned, but you know what I have planned? To get into some of these news. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. Our first topic today, Dino Fury is certainly quickly approaching. First off, I wanted to go ahead and highlight Dino Fury, not just to talk about its potential release date here, but also just showcase a brand new promo, I guess you could say promotional poster that they wind up dropping here. Let me go ahead and give you guys a better look. I absolutely love this. We did utilize this for our thumbnail this week. I actually cropped out the Rangers along with the Dino symbol sign and threw it on top of the fantastic Dino Fury background that the A Games 10 wind up providing me with as of yesterday. So again, shout out to the A Games 10 for providing that. But I love this promotional work. You know, it's one of those things where because Power Rangers Dino Fury is so new, anytime I try and do a thumbnail or I want to use a poster or anything like that, I feel like I have to go back to like Real Soldier stuff. I feel like any like new visuals that I need, I kind of just borrow from what we've seen in the past from Real Soldier. So it's actually nice to see that Hasbro is actually putting together new promotional material, some new posters and things like that for us to check out. But I honestly love this poster. So it's I think this is a 1280 by 720. So maybe it might fit on your computer screen pretty well. I don't know. It makes for a pretty cool wallpaper if you ask me. But I did think that was pretty neat. But one of the things out of this particular poster that immediately kind of jumps to my attention. Do you guys see what it is that Javier is holding, the Black Ranger in here? Homeboy's got a dagger, guys. He's got a dagger in his hand. His sister, I can't remember what his sister's name. I know we got Amelia, Ali, Zato, Javier. Tessa is, I'm dropping the ball on her name right now off the top of my head, but I love the fact that Javier has a freaking dagger. I've never seen this before in Real Soldier. This definitely makes me feel like Hasbro was giving us a brand new sort of original weapon here in the United States. It also makes me wonder what other type of original weapons that we in fact might be getting here. Somebody suggested the possibility that maybe, well, I don't even know. I was going to say maybe this actually just pulls down from underneath the sword that they have if they need to separate it. But to be perfectly honest with you, this dagger, if you look relatively closely, it seems to have like knuckle coverings, if you will. I don't want to say like brass knuckles, but definitely like a place where you hold on to the dagger, but it definitely comes over. So it definitely protects your knuckles there, if you will. So it definitely looks like it's a completely different weapon than anything that we've seen. So I don't believe that this is connected to the actual sword itself. It makes me feel like this is actually just an additional piece to the weaponry that our Dino Fury certainly has. Now, so we'll see what happens. I would love to see how this is kind of debuted when we get to see it here in Dino Fury. But unless this is like some sort of mistake on Hasbro's part, that's a dagger, homeboy. And I absolutely love the idea of Javier holding on to that dagger. I wonder if that's specifically just for Javier, or if the whole entire team gets the opportunity to kind of use that. But I thought that was a really cool tease and a really cool showcase here from Hasbro to show us that, hey, we're pulling out some originality here also in this season. We don't know how much original footage they're going to use. I know some people are still kind of wondering, you know, are we going to have ourselves an original sort of American villain, you know, for this show or not? But, you know, I clearly don't know that. I mean, from some of the set photos that we have seen in set videos, they definitely are reutilizing some of the Real Soldier enemies for sure. Whether or not we have something brand new for us, we'll definitely have to go ahead and see. But I love the idea and the notion of a dagger in here. I think considering the fact that these two with the green and black being brothers and sisters, you know, when I think of daggers, though, I do think of speedsters. Like, I think daggers are very formidable weapons, especially if you have somebody that has extremely quick movements, if you will. And when I think of Real Soldier, I feel like the Green Ranger would probably fit the dagger better. But listen, I want to see what Javier can certainly do with this dagger, to be quite honest with you. So listen, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this is in fact an original weapon? I've not seen this at all in Real Soldier whatsoever. So it looks as though Hasbro's maybe teasing us for something along those lines. But I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in regards to that. But how pumped are you? I'm super pumped in regards to what we're going to be getting here this season. I mean, we've gotten ourselves pretty much just like a teaser trailer, if you will, not even a full-fledged trailer as of yet. It does make me wonder if we're going to be getting ourselves yet another one here, because it does. I'm getting feelings, guys, that maybe Dino Fury is going to be here a lot sooner than we can definitely expect. So let's go ahead and just talk about this a little bit. The idea of when exactly Dino Fury plans on premiering. You know, I tried to do some research in here. I tried to go back a little bit to kind of see when the previous iterations of Power Ranger kind of were released. I went back to Ninja Steel for seasons 1 and 2. Those seasons were both dropped around this time of the year. Looks like usually towards the end of January. I believe it was January 27th when Ninja Steel was first premiered. Season 1 and 2 wind up premiering at the end of January. If you look at Beast Morphers was, I want to say Beast Morphers was the beginning of March, if I'm not mistaken. So we're definitely kind of right in the middle of that right now. But going on Twitter right now, we do have a lot of talk in regards to where it could potentially come from, and from some reputable sources here. Let's go ahead and actually bring this up here. This comes to us. Let me go to the, make sure I have this set up first real quick. Yeah, go over here to YouTube. This comes to us from Burgundy Ranger. I've definitely seen him pull up them pull up some news here before, but it says a minor yet significant change from our friend Kyle. He's changed the verbiage at the top of his cable forum page from early 2021 to February 2021 for the premiere of Dino Fury. He doesn't do that unless he has a valid intel that caused him to change his mind. Burgundy Ranger certainly trusts it, and that's what he's referring to, in the sense that this used to say early 2020, but now we have ourselves a significant change here in regards to that. But that's not the only thing that pops up in here, guys. If you actually go here down here further, I believe Julian Du, aka at Martian Ranger, he says, if it helps, there is also this February issue of TV listings from World Screenings where they do in fact list Dino Fury as one of the shows from Entertainment One. Now I'm not gonna showcase you guys the actual breakdown for Power Rangers in here. It's pretty much just showcasing to you what Entertainment One is wanting to present, if you will, for this year. And one of the things that they did highlight was the idea that, yes, we were in fact going to have 44 episodes, 22-minute long episodes, if you will. But this is in fact the February issue for world screenings. Now, sometimes I will say this. Now, sometimes when it comes to TV listings like this in magazines, I do feel that sometimes they do give you a preview a little bit ahead of time of what we're going to be getting, right? So even though it says February up there, I feel like it doesn't necessarily mean February, right? Like it could just mean, hey, this is what we have coming spring 2021, but this is our February edition of this particular issue. You know what I mean? Like it could be coming out in March, whatever the case may be. But people clearly do find it interesting here that the February issue does in fact mark what Entertainment One is going to be providing. I think there were like some Transformers cartoons that were in fact listed. Like for me, I would be interested to kind of see briefly if those Transformer shows that they're referencing, if they too have release dates. I think that was Transformers Rescue Bots. Let me just see. Transformers Rescue Bots premiere date. Let me see if there is a premiere date. I don't even know how that works. See, that says February 18th, but that was like 2012 when it premiered. I am wondering if they're just going to stick with that February release date then. Yeah, it says February 18th. Then season 2 aired March 1st. So it can be a little bit all over the place, but if it is popping up in that February issue, it definitely is going to be dropping either in February or March for sure. I am definitely leaning towards February myself personally, if I can be honest with you. I know as of right now, we're waiting for like Couch Critic and things like that. I believe there were a couple other people that reference, even the A Games 10 posted in here also. Another development in the February Nickelodeon schedule is a possible new animated show called Tuned In. Futon Critic is actually the name of the site that we usually wind up waiting or getting our information from, but haven't seen that yet, but maybe it'll start kind of rolling out here relatively soon. So if I had to put my guess and my money on a release date, February 27th sounding pretty good right now. You've got February 27th, which is that last Saturday of the month. That following weekend actually would be the premiere of Zenkaiger. I wouldn't mind having those premieres kind of back to back or really near each other, to be honest with you. Like as a Power Ranger fan, to come in on the 27th and know I've got a brand new season of Power Rangers, and then the following week to go ahead and have a brand new season of Super Sentai. Count me in, man. So while no official date has in fact been released, I am leaning towards February 27th being the date. You guys know how when it comes to Nickelodeon, they never give you a promotion. They never give you proper build up to anything. It's one of those things where a trailer will drop and it'd be like, hey guys, coming tomorrow. Like, what tomorrow? Like, I wasn't even ready, dude. Like, what's going on here? So trust me when I say they definitely will probably drop something here and then give us like a 2 week, maybe 1 week kind of prep time to get amped up and excited for this upcoming season. But considering the fact that Power Rangers does usually drop, if not in late January, sometime in February, early March, I feel like it's we're definitely bound to get there pretty soon. So I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think in regards to that. Do you guys believe that we'll have Dino Fury here at the end of February, or do you feel as though it will in fact be coming towards the end of March? I hope that Hasbro is kind of building up their anticipation level right next to that of Zenkaiger. Like, hey, let's just jump on board with this, right? Like if Tokusatsu and Ranger Nation are in fact just excited in general, let's just go ahead and put them side by side. Like, I don't think it would certainly take away from each other at all. I just think it's a case of who's gonna put their series out first is how I'm kind of looking at it right now. Let's see. Enrique, what's up? Enrique Perez is, hey, maybe you're my cousin, man. I don't know. We got the same last name, bro. Let's see. And when is Nickelodeon gonna hire a trailer? Is going to air a trailer for Dino Fury. So far, we've only gotten ourselves a teaser trailer, kind of just a brief promotional trailer to kind of give you a kind of an idea of what we can expect in the season. Nothing too detailed, just an overall synopsis, some, stock footage, if you will, kind of put together, some graphics and things like that, but we haven't really had sort of like an actual trailer, you know, that introduces us to the actual characters and things like that, and a more focus on the actual plot and Zord battles and things like that. So we haven't gotten one yet. Hopefully we'll get one here soon, Enrique. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, but I definitely want to know. Johnny definitely says it's a Dino Dagger, in reference to the photo that we wind up having here too. And Alexis definitely agrees with you too. Christopher says he's gonna shank some bad guys. I hope Chance Perez is working on his dagger moves, man. I hope they got him a really cool fight choreographer or stunt coordinator there that'll show him how to use that dagger a little bit. But yeah, Chance is definitely gonna be shanking some guys. Doomsday's hype too. He says Javier's got a freaking dagger. I mean, how cool is that? You know, I will say this, you know, going back and actually Izzy, thank you very much, Matthew and JB, for reminding me of Javier's sister's name, Izzy. Thank you very much. You know, I will say this, Doomsday. Sometimes I feel like we don't get enough unique weapons when it comes to Power Rangers anymore. I feel like the blaster and the sword are like the go-tos, if you will. But you know, going back a little bit to, since we've been doing that, our Patreon exclusive reactions for Go Ranger, you know, going back to 1975 and seeing exactly some of the weapons that they utilized back in the day makes me want to see some of these weapons again. They had a freaking boomerang, which I thought was really cool. Aqua Ranger himself had a freaking whip. Talk about underrated weapons that we don't even see anymore. Like the idea of a dagger. I mean, granted, when I think of dagger, I also think of like Beast Morphers here, Go Busters, if you will, a little bit. This definitely feels like it's a little bit smaller than the dagger that they wind up having in Beast Morphers, but because this looks relatively unique in its own sense. But again, the idea of utilizing rather unique weapons and bringing them to the forefront, I really hope that U.S. Rangers, at least here, start utilizing that in the future. Because again, I would love to see a boomerang or even a whip kind of brought back. But when I saw the dagger, I was like, hey, we're getting original weapons now. Okay, maybe there's some hope for some throwback weapons in here. Zafira, what's up, Zafira? Appreciate you coming through. I heard Dino Fury will premiere in February. That's what I'm hearing right now. No actually confirmed date from Hasbro or Nickelodeon as of yet, but you know, I believe the A Games 10, you know, he's kind of like the private detective of Ranger Nation here. You know, he definitely does his sleuthing, if you will, and really talked about the idea that he's picking up on websites, if you will, starting to slowly change over to more Dino Fury stuff, right? Starting to put that more promotional work behind it, if you will. So maybe something big is coming that they're kind of ramping up for at this point in time. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Matthew says, yeah, I never remember Bomba using the dagger. Yeah, I was just trying to think, like, have we seen this in Real Soldier? And I really don't believe that we have. So I'm really looking forward to the idea of something unique here. The A Games 10, going back to the Dino Fury premiere, it's usually late February or early March. And I think I think also the fact that Zenkaiger is going to be dropping March 7th. Like, if you were to ask me, I probably would have had Zenkaiger. I probably would have put Dino Fury maybe at the beginning of March. But since the fact that Zenkaiger is in fact being released then, I'm thinking you either do it the week before or the week after. I honestly would almost do it the week after, just so that any expectations that maybe Zenkaiger kind of lays the groundwork for, you're not at the butt end of that, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, that's how I would work my promotion and marketing for it. But we'll see. We'll see. Jinsaku, what's up, Jinsaku? Appreciate you coming through, Savage. Thank you very much. Always good to have your presence in here all the time. All the time. Couch critic. What did I say? Futon critic? I thought I said couch critic. I think I said couch critic when I first started. Futon's a couch, man. Hey, you know, don't hate. It's the same thing. Semantics, you know what I mean? Tomato is how I look at it. Shadow Nova Productions in the house. Thank you very much for certainly coming through. Doomsday says couch critic. Now that sounds like a good episode title. Yeah, that sounds like what us fans are when we go on YouTube or and Twitter and give our opinions. We're a bunch of couch critics. That's what we are. Alexis has a different theory here. Thinks Dino Fury February 18th. We're pretty close there. I mean, listen, the A Games 10 does say Nick usually does promote a trailer a week before the premiere because Nick doesn't care about the promotion for third-party shows. I mean, you're probably absolutely right. So listen, Alexis, it's possible, right? I mean, we're still 2 weeks out from February 18th. So who's to say we don't get ourselves a trailer next week and they're like, blam, we're just gonna drop this on you here in the middle of February. Hey, I'm all for it. Whatever they want to give me. Marcelino Vasquez, what's up, Marcelino? Appreciate you coming through. You said never saw your old videos, unfortunately, but what was your reaction when you saw the exclusive weapon power-ups be used in Beast Morphers? I really enjoyed them. I thought the power-up modes were pretty cool, especially the Fury mode. I thought that was great. Short-lived, to say the least, but I thought a great storyline for the two-parter that we wind up getting. Oh, I'm sorry. Alexis changed it. Not 18th to 20th. I guess she maybe looked at the calendar and wanted to make sure she had it right. All right, guys. Marcelino says, I'm going back to the idea of an original weapon here in the dagger. He says, I think Toei and Hasbro don't use the whip anymore because it's a reminder of slavery, but you're welcome to disagree with me. I mean, maybe that's their mindset. I don't know. I don't want to assume that I know what their point of view or perspective is. I mean, I don't connect it with whips, with slavery. I honestly connect it with Indiana Jones. I think it's really just dependent on how they utilize it and who's utilizing the weapon. So I mean, I get it, but that's not really where my first mindset goes. My first mindset goes to actually Indiana Jones, or maybe, yeah, that's really where it goes to, honestly. All right, guys. You know what? Shadow Nova, quick shout out. He says, I liked how the Fury Cell made Devin an addict. Yeah, going back to the idea of original weapons and things like that for Beast Morphers. Yeah, that I really enjoyed the Fury mode storyline that we wind up getting. I thought the design for it was pretty legit. I honestly wish that they kind of utilized it a little bit more, even without the Fury cells. Like, I wish that Abraham was able to. I mean, he's a genius. I'm sure he could have probably found other things to kind of utilize it for if he certainly wanted to. You know what I mean? So we'll see, though. We'll see. But guys, listen. At the end of the day, it's still up in the air. We haven't gotten anything official yet for Dino Fury's release. But once we do, we definitely will go ahead and keep you guys posted. I'm probably sure we'll probably do like a trailer review or whatever the case may be if we do get one, to go ahead and hype us up for the debut of Power Rangers. So definitely go ahead and hold on to your horses and wait till then. If you guys are looking for a home for your Dino Fury reviews, this is definitely going to be the spot for you guys. We took care of you for Beast Morphers. We've been taking care of you guys for years in regards to our past YouTube videos. Also, we got you covered here. So if you're looking for a home for your Dino Fury reviews, smash that subscribe button and also that bell notification, so when they do drop, you'll definitely be notified. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue along here with some of our stories and our topics this week. We are going to kind of stick in the Power Ranger-ish side of things a little bit. And I say ish because this is more of a person that I definitely wanted to go ahead and reference. And this person is somebody that we are quite familiar with, or will become more familiar with as the years go by, and Mr. Jonathan Entwistle himself. This guy's a busy man. He's got tons of stuff that he's got on his docket already. He's been assigned to go ahead and reboot and sort of reimagine the Power Ranger franchise for Hasbro going forward. But that's not his only job that homeboy has on his plate as of right now. Mr. Jonathan Entwistle himself, according to the Hollywood Reporter, he has in fact been tapped to direct an episode of the upcoming Disney Plus series in Willow, really expanding his resume here. Lucasfilm finding some really great talent when it comes to Jonathan Entwistle and deciding to go ahead and kind of bring him on board. So let's go ahead and talk about this and see exactly what Jonathan Entwistle plans on getting himself into this time around. So here we go, guys. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. For Willow, Disney Plus's series finds its director with "I'm not okay with this" co-creator. This is an exclusive from here, Hollywood Reporter. It says the series returns Warwick Davis to the title role of Willow Ufgood, the heroic apprentice Newell sorcerer of the original film. It says Willow, the Disney Plus fantasy, has found a new director for its pilot. Jonathan Entwistle, most notably known for his series The End of the Effing World and I Am Not Okay With This, has been tapped to direct the pilot for the show that is set after the events of the film. So it is important to understand that it is just the kicking off episode. It's just the pilot episode. It's not like he's going to be sort of the showrunner or anything like that for this show. It does say that John Chu was due to direct the pilot and executive produce the show, but announced on January 11th he was stepping away due to scheduling concerns and an upcoming baby due in the summer. So it says Entwistle is also executive producing and now joins executive producer and co-showrunners Jonathan Kasdan and Wendy. It says Merso, who also did that Arrow television show also. But it does say that Jonathan Kasdan wrote the pilot. So Jonathan Kasdan is the writer of the Willow pilot, and now Jonathan Entwistle will be doing the directing for that one episode. This is what Entwistle had to say. He says, with its epic a world of swords, sorcery, and adventure, Willow captivated and influenced so many, said Entwistle in a statement. I'm excited to be going on this journey and working with John and Wendy to create something that is both deeply rooted in that original film and also a fresh and funny, charming addition to the beloved story. To be able to play with this world is painstakingly crafted by Ron back in '88 is a dream come true for me. Listen, first off, the fact alone that he gets an opportunity with Lucasfilm here, talk about just having the opportunity now to be able to work on other things when it comes to the world of Lucasfilm, whether that be a future Willow stuff, future Indiana Jones stuff, whether that be a future Star Wars series, who certainly knows. I'm really hoping that Jonathan Entwistle certainly puts his best foot forward when it comes to this, because you never know what kind of opportunities it'll definitely open up for you in the long run, if you will. So Jonathan Entwistle, definitely going to be a rather busy man here. I love the Willow movie. I was super pumped when they mentioned the fact that they were going to be doing a Willow Disney Plus series. But the fact that we are already getting ready for Jonathan Entwistle to do something when it comes to Power Rangers, and now seeing him involved in this, clearly they must be liking some of his creative choices and what he's certainly bringing to the table as a director, along with as a writer. Now, I did have somebody kind of bring up a question to me this week when this news dropped about the idea of, will this kind of take away Jonathan Entwistle from what he's doing when it comes to Power Rangers? And my response to that is most notably, probably not. Probably not. I still easily imagine Jonathan Entwistle still doing Power Rangers. I don't think you turn away a job like that in order just to do one pilot episode for Disney Plus's Willow series. He definitely has Power Rangers on his plate first and foremost. Definitely make no mistake about that. But I will say this, when it comes to Hollywood, people juggle projects all the time, right? It's all about timing. It's all about setting up your schedule properly, right? Some of the actors may not even be available until a certain amount of time, right? So Jonathan Entwistle probably has already been painstakingly working on Power Rangers. If anything, I think this is probably something that he can kind of do in between everything that's kind of going on for him when it comes to Power Rangers, to be perfectly honest with you, because there are a ton of departments when it comes to Hollywood. Everybody has to kind of do their own thing. So I'm sure Jonathan Entwistle will probably be waiting for, who knows to say, I would assume the script is probably done for Willow. So he's probably gotten the script. He's probably doing his own sort of arrangement of the script, if you will, maybe adding his own directorial things to the script, if you will, also to kind of get that ready. So I'm pretty sure Entwistle could probably juggle the idea of directing one episode of Willow and still being able to do Power Rangers. So I'm definitely not worried in the least bit whatsoever. And also, just to kind of back that up a little bit here, Jonathan, this week, if I'm not mistaken, on Twitter, did go ahead and post a picture that Hasbro sent him a ton of Power Ranger merchandise for him to definitely enjoy, from Lightning collections to all different types of brands when it comes to Power Ranger figures and things like that. So Hasbro definitely is swarming Jonathan Entwistle with Power Ranger stuff, and for good reason, because that's definitely where his attention certainly is. So I just don't want anybody to get it twisted that this is going to take Jonathan Entwistle away from focusing on Power Rangers, because trust me when I say, when it comes to Hollywood and projects, there are plenty of top tier talent out there that have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 projects that are in fact planned, and it's really about how good are you not only at scheduling things for yourself but also multitasking, you know what I mean? And so I do think that they're certainly more than capable of doing a little bit of everything. So yeah, I'm definitely not worried, but I will say again, a fantastic opportunity here for Jonathan Entwistle to just be picked up by Lucasfilm, you know, to for somebody to go from John Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians, and then to be like, you know what, you're our second in command here. You're the second person that we would choose for this. I think that's really telling in regards to just maybe the vision that he has. Maybe he feels super comfortable in this world of sort of fantasy and sorcery and magic and things like that, right? And knights and dragons. And I will say this, you know, I don't want to say one of the complaints, but one of the things that I was urging to see more of when I did watch some of the Jonathan Entwistle I'm Not Okay With This show was that I was kind of hoping for that hint of adventure. I felt like it was about to tackle that in season 2 before Netflix wind up canceling the show itself, but it definitely felt like it was building towards something rather sort of epic and very fantastical and sci-fi, if you will, but I never got the opportunity to see that from Jonathan. So now he does have another television show on Netflix that I didn't completely finish, so I'm not exactly sure how that fits, but if Jonathan excited to kind of get into this world, I am really hoping that there are just elements of that fantastical world and that sci-fi world that he does kind of carry over to Power Rangers a little bit. So if he's tackling Willow, I do think that the material here for Power Rangers could be something really special that we wind up getting from Jonathan Entwistle. So we'll see what happens, guys. But listen, at the end of the day, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that this will take away Jonathan Entwistle from Power Rangers? Are you certainly not worried about it? Are you at least excited that he gets this opportunity? Go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm an older guy. I was born in '82, so growing up for me, Willow came out when I was like six or 7. And so Willow was like right up my alley in regards to it. It's one of the classics that I used to rent as a kid that really just kind of fed into my creativity. Willow, Masters of the Universe, yes, the terrible Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie. Yes, I was a huge fan of that as a kid. I'm probably sure I drove my mom crazy just playing that. I played that a ton, and I played Return of the Jedi all the time. And considering the fact that Warwick Davis, we got the Lucasfilm connection there, that's probably where I get my love for Willow also. And shout out to Val Kilmer for being fantastic in that movie also. All right, guys. Christopher Throbbing, he's like, I'm not worried, bro. I'm not worried at all. I'm good to hear that, man. Good to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, Christopher. Real Soul, Dino Real Soul says, I'm pretty sure Jonathan will complete Willow before Power Rangers. Interesting. I mean, listen, I feel like the scripts are probably already done. I don't know when Willow actually goes into production, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think that's kind of far-fetched, Dino. I really don't think that's far-fetched at all. I wouldn't be surprised, like, right, because I don't know when that series is supposed to be going into production as of right now. But the fact that they seemingly have everybody on board. We haven't gotten any casting announcements from Willow, but we definitely clearly have a script, executive producers on board now that we have a director. So maybe within the next a few months, maybe over the summertime, they'll start doing production for it. But if you ask me, yeah, that might be even before Power Rangers begins. So yeah, he might have plenty of time on his hands to do kind of stuff like that. Blossom, I think you would love Willow. If you haven't had the opportunity to see it, I think it would feed right into just you're a very creative person. I think you would really enjoy it, Blossom. So check it out if you haven't had a chance. Ooh, thank you. This is kind of random, but Smell my pee pee. We gotta change it. We gotta work on your name, man. It says, did you hear Power Rangers leaves Netflix tomorrow? Yeah, we did in fact talk about that several weeks ago. Man, the end of the month crept up on me so quick. I hope you guys had the opportunity to check out some of your classic Power Rangers series before they're kind of gone bye-bye. We'll see if they pop up somewhere else. But yeah, tomorrow is in fact the last day. So get on it, people. Get on it. Alexis says, I think Jonathan will help with Power Rangers. I just hope he can adapt Cure Ranger after Dino Fury. I have my hopes for Cure Ranger after Dino Fury. Yeah, I know a lot of people definitely do when it comes to hoping that Cure Ranger will pop up in here. As much as I personally am with you, Alexis, I would love to see it. I'm still not leaning towards that way, but I'm hoping that I'm, proven wrong. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I have a feeling Jonathan certainly will help when it comes to Power Rangers. Well, we'll see what his vision certainly is going to look like. Is that something that hardcore fans or longtime fans are going to get on board with or get behind? Are we going to like the changes, some of the reboots and the reimagining? We'll see. It's definitely going to take time. I'm not going to say he's going to knock it out of the park, right? Nothing is a guarantee. But if you're trying to work on at least bringing Power Rangers back into the forefront, I think this is probably a great idea. It's probably as smart of an idea as you possibly can. Thomas, what's up, Thomas? Appreciate you coming through, man. He says, when will Dino Fury premiere? We kind of just talked about this at the top of the show. Right now, we are very much leaning towards very late February or early March. My speculation was maybe the 27th. Let me go back to this. Yeah, the 27th of February. We are kind of starting to see some movements. I believe the World Screening TV listing had Dino Fury in their February edition. So I think people are leaning towards the episodes being dropped in February. But when it comes to Nickelodeon, they don't really promote too much. So they just kind of give you like, hey, it drops tomorrow. Well, 2 weeks, but it hits you so quick. It's almost like no time to truly get pumped for it. So we'll keep you posted. But yeah, our speculation right now, things that we've been seeing, there are rumors and theories that are pushing towards maybe a February release. Ninja Steel debuted at the very end of January. Both seasons did. I believe Beast Morphers premiered at the top of March. Also, we also have Super Sentai's new season and Zenkaiger that's going to be dropping that March 7th at very beginning. So again, if I'm Power Rangers, I'm thinking before Zenkaiger, which would be February 27th, or after that following week, like March 13th. Or something like that. But we'll see. We'll definitely see, Thomas. But thank you very much for popping in. All right. Do I think that the season will be the theme will be linked before the season? Probably. Just because everything else tends to get leaked, to be honest with you. But I hope not. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue to move on here. We are going to transition a little bit into some Tokusatsu and Super Sentai stuff in regards to not only a brand new Super Sentai movies, but also some brand new scans for us to certainly get involved with. But before we do that, I do want to get into one Tokusatsu element that we don't really talk about a lot about around here, and that is in fact Ultraman. Ultraman, I've been saying this forever. Ultraman Z on YouTube is a series that I want to get into. I've just been so overcrowded with content, if you will, having to do videos that I just haven't had the time to sit down and catch up to Ultraman Z, but it is definitely on my radar. And, Ultraman, I feel like is really kind of getting a new boost, if you will, in regards to a resurgence a little bit. Marvel has like 2 comic book series now, I think, from Ultraman. We do have Ultraman Z, which is now sort of not only a brand new series, but it's being simulcast, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe also maybe in English, or at least it's provided with English subtitles, which sometimes feels like a rarity to me when it comes to like Toei and just the idea of Tokusatsu. It feels like they're very picky about what they share in English, if you will. So for me, Ultraman is maybe having a little bit of a resurgence here, getting to kind of be thrown back into popularity. They recently, within the past 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, Netflix did do a CG series on Ultraman, which I definitely recommend. I had a blast watching it, honestly. But a part of me wants to kind of get into Ultraman a little bit more. But this week, shout out to Stuart Branscombe, my fellow co-host, not only on A Plus More Phenomenal, but A Plus Hero Report. He does our reviews for Kamen Rider Saber around here. He brought this to my attention yesterday, that there is a brand new trailer for a movie by the name of Shin Ultraman. that recently just dropped here within the past day or two, and it's pretty much a rebooting of the, I don't want to say a rebooting, but kind of like a reimagining or a retooling of the Ultraman sort of series, if you will, but in movie form. I will say this, you know what? Let me, before I talk heavily about this, let me go ahead and highlight to you guys what it is that Shin Ultraman exactly is. So let me go to this site. This is actually from ScreenRant.com, ladies and gentlemen. This is from ScreenRant.com. Shin Ultraman trailer brings the popular Japanese hero to the big screen. It says Shin Ultraman, the cinematic feature being produced by Hideaki Anno and directed by Shinji Higuchi, receives its first trailer revealing 2 kaiju. It says the first trailer for Shin Ultraman is here, showing off the cast, monsters, and the Japanese superhero himself. Ultraman's new cinematic outing is being produced by Neon Genesis Evangelion creator Hideaki Anno. Also, Attack on Titan movie director Shinji Higuchi, my goodness, Adam, is also directing. The 2 men directed Shin Godzilla in 2016, delivering an acclaimed new take on the iconic reptile. It says Ultraman is one of the world's biggest superheroes, both literally and figuratively. The character debuted in 1966, forever influencing Japanese pop culture. It says here in the original show, a man named Hayata is able to transform into Ultraman to combat sinister monsters. Unsurprisingly, Ultraman received a follow-up in the form of Ultra 7. Something that couldn't have been predicted was just how massive the Ultraman brand would become. Since 1966, though, there have been over 25 Ultraman shows, over 20 movies, and countless of merchandise. It definitely sounds like Godzilla to me also. Considerable time can be spent discussing all the causes of Ultraman's longevity, but it really comes down to how much heart is put into the various incarnations. Shin Ultraman is going back to the character's roots as an adaptation of the original program. The release date was revealed back in November, along with a good look at the hero's appearance. And we do, in fact, have ourselves a trailer here for you guys also. It says, yeah, it says they have debuted the teaser for Shin Ultraman. The footage shows off the characters, but probably bigger is the reveal of 2 classic monsters. You get the opportunity to check out the trailer down here below also. I love the CG effects for these monsters that they wind up having in here. I mean, talk about making them feel so fluid and actually like a part of the real world, if you will. And here we get Ultraman showing up. I will be curious to see exactly what the graphics for Ultraman are going to be looking like. You know, I did see, I did wind up getting the opportunity to see some still photos, if you will, from this particular trailer. I'm not exactly sure how I feel so much about the Ultraman design himself, clearly taking inspiration from the 1966 classic costume. It's not even so much the costume that kind of throws me off a little bit, as it is kind of like the body form for Ultraman in here. But again, they're really kind of transposing this human being that really grows in size, if you will. So I am kind of curious to see, hopefully, a more detailed trailer at some particular point in time. But I really wanted to highlight Shin Ultraman because one of the things that always kind of stuck out to me about Shin Godzilla, which, mind you, I didn't even watch Shin Godzilla until last night, ladies and gentlemen. I watched it last night. I saw this trailer for Ultraman. It got me pumped because, one, the production value immediately kind of jumped to my mind here, right? Like, this isn't a kid television show production at all. Like, they're going full cinematic, a modern day kind of take on this classic 1966 character in Ultraman. And that alone really hyped me up. Not only that, but when I saw the Ultraman news and information, the fact that you tell me the creators of Neon Genesis Evangelion and Attack on Titan's movie is coming to do this particular film, count me in. Neon Genesis was actually one of my favorite, and if not one of my first animes being introduced to outside of like the Dragon Ball stuff that we've kind of all known to kind of come and love. But that was really my first dive into just heavy anime, and I absolutely loved of just the storyline and the action and the emotion that they wind up providing for us in that anime series. So to know that those two who are best longtime friends directing and co-writing this particular movie, count me in. And I did, because of that, because of the information that I got from this article and just the trailer alone, it did push me to go ahead and check out Shin Godzilla, which was in fact released in 2016. Talk about a hell of a time trying to find an English dubbed version of that damn movie. I didn't realize it was so hard for some people to try and find it. But Shin Godzilla is pretty much a current and more up-to-date take on the classic Godzilla story. I mean, it's really the idea of the production company doing a reboot of their franchise and bringing Godzilla into a much more kind of a modern day society, right? What happens when a monster in 2016 just attacks your city? The bureaucracy that you got to go through, right? All the paperwork, all the people that have to make these decisions, and you're sitting around watching your city just toppled and destroyed while nobody can make a damn decision for themselves. The special effects was unlike anything that I had ever seen. And what they do is they take great references such as classic tokusatsu formatting of their fighting, if you will, the angles, if you will, things that you would see in like a classic Godzilla film, or even something along the lines of like Power Ranger or Ultraman, or I should say Super Sentai. They do a great job of still making it feel and look very much tokusatsu. Like, I don't know if there's somebody that's actually in a suit, or if they use somebody in a suit and then just covered it all in CG. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to check out just what Godzilla looks like as in the Shin Godzilla film, please do yourselves a favor and check it out. There is very much a really cool kind of tokusatsu feel to it, right? Still being able to establish the big monster crushing through the city and things like that, but giving it a very modern sort of cinematic feel when you're watching it. And so for me, not only does that get me pumped for Shin Ultraman, because it makes me automatically know monsters are going to look fantastic, battles in the city are going to look incredible, and they're going to be actually interconnecting it with a very much more modern take of decision making, casualties, fear, if you will, right? Like the not just the bubblegum, sunshine and rainbows type of mentality. They really are going to tackle the struggles of how a modern day has to tackle the idea of a kaiju destroying their city, if you will. And so I'm here for it. Like, I've never felt like it was too overly cinematic when I watched it, but perfectly enough to blend cinema and classic tokusatsu filming, that when I watched Shin Godzilla, and I'm sure when I watched Shin Ultraman too, the reason why I brought this up in today's show is I would love for these special effects or these battles to help influence what we wind up getting in, say, a future Power Ranger film. When I look at Shin Godzilla, guys, when I look at that budget, the budget itself was only $15 million. And Shin Godzilla, mind you, in Japan, at their biggest sort of award ceremony, if you will, the guys that are doing Shin Ultraman, their movie Shin Godzilla was nominated for 11 awards. I'm sorry, there's like wind blowing through the crack. It got nominated for 11 awards. Won 7 of those awards, including Picture of the Year and Director of the Year. So I really would love to see how Power Rangers, whether or not they manage to get sort of the special effects genius out of this Shin Godzilla and Shin Ultraman over on board to a Power Ranger movie or television series, who certainly knows. But I would love for them to at least watch those movies and see if they can somehow incorporate that sort of fighting style or those big battles that we kind of miss from a Power Ranger movie, to kind of modernize it a little bit for current audiences, but still kind of hearkening back to the tokusatsu influence that it certainly comes from. So Shin Godzilla is a movie I would definitely recommend. If you're not a Godzilla fan, or if you just think of the classic sort of old school black and white, baby Godzilla and, Mama Godzilla and all those, comedic side of things. No, do yourselves a favor and check out Shin Godzilla. It's a very terrifying and sort of horrific sort of modern take on the Godzilla franchise, and I thought they did a marvelous job, not only storytelling but great character development in regards to that also, and just made me want a Power Ranger movie like this so incredibly badly. Not even script wise, but just special effects wise, right? Like the idea of trying to make a Power Ranger movie, because look, guys, we've seen this before, right? The idea of, you know, Legendary and Saban spending $100+ million for a big blockbuster film that didn't make its money back, right? Like I could literally watch a Shin Godzilla movie that had the budget of $15 million and just go crazy at the box office that it wind up bringing in, at least compared to what its budget certainly was. It just makes me realize that you don't need $100 million to go ahead and make a Power Ranger movie. You absolutely do not. I do think you could make a really compelling and really incredible film with under $100 million. And if I'm trying to look at ways to give the fans something pretty incredible without going over the budget, or at least having that fear of what it is that of not being able to make my money back, then I'm trying to figure out how can I get the most out of a smaller budget than we possibly have. Man, look at Shin Godzilla, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's a perfect understanding, and that's using some of the best high-tech sort of technology that they have over in Japan. That's not even combining the strength and the power of Japan technology and say US Lucasfilm technology or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like I just think there could be a really great marriage if some of the executive producers or the people behind Hasbro or whoever's putting this movie together are trying to look for influences on how to make a great, compelling Power Ranger film while still keeping it under a necessary budget, if you will, but still making it look like it's top notch. And I just think the idea of a tokusatsu sort of reference or an honoring to what kind of came before, I think would be a really great in a way of being able to do a cinematic feature film for that of Power Rangers. So guys, if you get the opportunity to check out Shin Godzilla, please go ahead and do yourselves a favor. For me, it was really difficult to try and find an English sub version of the movie, especially in really great quality, but I did manage to go ahead and find it. What I personally did was I managed to get the actual Shin Godzilla movie itself in top quality, and then I also got the English dubbed with, you know, I think it was like maybe 720 quality or whatever the case may be, and I literally just put the actual video over the other English video and just timed it up with the voices and stuff. It was a pretty incredible experience watching it. I literally was up from like 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday, just fully invested in this Shin Godzilla film. But listen, the idea of this crew from Shin Godzilla going over to Shin Ultraman has me pumped. I do want to see more of the trailer to see how I feel about it, but this realistic take, seeing the monsters, the classic monsters looking incredible in this real world, I thought was breathtaking. And again, I think this is a great influence for a potential Power Ranger movie, or if not even a movie, how they maybe want to go ahead and do some of their television shows going forward, right? Like if you are going to be bringing us television series and not just that of movies, if you are trying to maybe utilize something that has a low budget, but you want to put more in than what you're doing right now for, say, a Power Ranger television show on Nickelodeon, I think this would be a really great way of kind of showcasing it. Tokusatsu battles, but very much in a modern day cinematic take. Shin Godzilla, perfect. Do yourself some favor and check out Shin Godzilla's action sequences when you guys get the chance. But guys, listen, have you checked out Shin Godzilla already? Are you big Ultraman fans? Have you been hyped for this Shin Ultraman trailer? Or is this the first time that you're actually ever hearing about it or seeing anything about it? I definitely want to go ahead and know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, let's go ahead and continue along with some Tokusatsu information for you guys here. This one is actually going to be a relatively short story that I wanted to go ahead and throw in, but I thought it was pretty neat because I didn't know that they actually created these, to be perfectly honest with you. But we do have ourselves a Super Sentai Encyclopedia that's definitely headed our way here. This information actually comes to us from Tokusatsu Network, another great source. We are personally affiliated with JE Fusion. They do an incredible job of harboring a ton of Tokusatsu information. But a couple of the other sites I use, Toku Nation, Tokusatsu Network also. But this one is, in fact, from Tokusatsu Network. It says Super Sentai Encyclopedia to release in April of this year. I'm assuming maybe that's the actual cover itself. But it does say a new encyclopedia book, picture book of the popular Super Sentai series is set to release in April. This new encyclopedia from Gakken Plus publication series will contain information from the first 45 Super Sentai series from Japan. The book will feature facts and illustrations starting from Go Ranger all the way to the upcoming series and Zenkaiger. So they've been prepping for this all last year. It definitely feels like. It says Gakken's illustrated Super Sentai Encyclopedia will feature the 300 warriors who have appeared in each of these teams. Additional illustrations will also include about 270 types of different forms of these characters as well. A correlation diagram will also be included that explains the details of successive robots, vehicles, and mechas from each season. Again, this is going to be released in April 8th, and it's pricing it at 3,300 yen. Not exactly sure how much that actually is, but here's a perfect photo in here of this encyclopedia. I mean, it looks like it's super detailed, breaking it down, showcasing you how exactly these Zords actually work, if you will. And this is like another one of the diagrams, maybe showing the heights, the size, if you will, in comparison to what some of these the Rangers or the Zords, it looks like, how you can actually compare them. Like if you look at the bottom, is that a horse? Yeah, that is a horse actually. See, that's that the horse from? So look, I haven't watched the Lost Galaxy counterpart to Super Sentai, but that looks like that's a Lost Galaxy horse there. I talk about how the Lost Galaxy horse power up just threw me out of the Lost Galaxy movie, and I swear to God, that's the Pink Ranger on top of that damn Lost Galaxy morphed horse. That's so cool that character is in here. But yeah, some really great diagrams in here. This actually almost reminds me a little bit of like my Star Wars encyclopedias that I tend to sometimes get after, say, one of the big fledged movies kind of come out, really giving you further insight in regards to like the lore of the characters, the planets, spaceships, and things like that. That's exactly what it looks like here for Super Sentai, really giving you an in-depth insight as to some of the mechas here, and I'm sure the huge range of Rangers that we've had over the years. So, I don't know if there's actually going to be an English version of this, but hell, I'll take the Japanese version just because it looks cool. Yeah, guys, if you get a chance, I want to know if you guys are excited for the idea of a Super Sentai encyclopedia. I feel like we could probably learn a ton from past seasons in there, and honestly, it probably would be a really great reference point for me to actually wind up having while we're going back and doing all these reaction videos and reviews for some of these past Super Sentai seasons. Like I'm still guys, I'm not even lying. Like each time I sit down and I watch Go Ranger, I'm still trying to get over the idea that I'm watching a Super Sentai from 1975. Like I have to literally fix my head to be in a different mental state as to what I'm watching, right? Like I can't really put it on par with what I'm currently watching right now because it's so significantly different to a certain extent. Like you can see where it began and where it's going. So for me, I would love to learn even more influences of Super Sentai, especially going back that far to the 1970s. But I think this idea of encyclopedia, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool if you ask me. So again, I don't know what 3,300 yen equivalates to in American currency, but I probably would definitely go ahead and pick one up for myself, to be perfectly honest with you. But are you guys fascinated in I love learning little details like that, but I am kind of keeping my fingers crossed that maybe there's an English translated version of it. We'll see, guys. We'll definitely see. but I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. All right, guys. I think with that, let me go ahead and jump over to my next topic. We do have two more topics left. This is where we're really going to get into the nitty gritty of some Super Sentai series that we currently have when it comes to Measure along with Zenkaiger, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. We've got some Super Sentai movies that are certainly on our way. We have actually a triple feature that's going to be dropping here rather soon. It's actually titled our Super Sentai Movie Ranger 2021, which is in fact going to be highlighting 3 Super Sentai movies that are all going to be dropping here all within around the same amount of time, if I'm not mistaken, guys. So we actually did get ourselves a brand new trailer. I think last week or the previous week, we did highlight the Measure movie itself. We have Minjo that is actually going to be returning from Measure, but now we actually have ourselves an even further look at some of the other movies that we're going to be getting also. So I thought this would be really cool for us to kind of go ahead and highlight together. So let me go ahead and try and pull this up here. So this is for the new trailer itself. All right, so it says Toei has released the first trailer for the upcoming cinematic endeavor, Super Sentai Movie Ranger 2021. This project will be a triple bill featuring 3 of Super Sentai movies. Let me put in my headbuds in here real quick. So the first one was the first one that they want to highlight to us. Oh, we got Measure the movie here. We get to see more Minjo here also. I think we actually just popping Cena in the head, it looks like. Some great action about to take place here too. Get to see some of the special effects. I love this shot coming up here of Juru right here. You know, I will say this. Let me pause this real quick. And then I'll jump into that because that's going to be the real soldier stuff. I will say this. When it comes to the Measure movie, Measure, the series itself, has already given us incredible action sequences just on their budget alone. I mean, I feel like there's at least 3 to 4 different battle sequences that I can think of from Measure that are like in my tops already. So Zenkaiger, Measure, excuse me. When I watch Measure, it has some incredible action sequences, at least 3 to 4 that I can think of off the top of my head that really impressed me all season long. So to kind of see what they're already doing when it comes to television series wise, and now you tell me that you want to go ahead and actually do a movie with the Measure action involved, yeah, man, count me in. Next up, though, we have this. So the Measure movie, it says Majin Sentai Measure the movie Bebop Dream features the Measures facing off against a new opponent with the ability to manipulate dreams. Again, that is in fact Minjo. Then we've got the Real Soldier movie. It says Real Soldier the movie takes place 1 year after the series ending and features a reunion of the real soldiers. So we actually have ourselves a nice reunion of 1 year here, guys. 1 year of them getting back. And Bomba's back. Well, we got Bomba and we got Nada. Nada winds up returning in here. I am really curious to see how he winds up. Man, I got to tell you, the Nada storyline was incredible, way too short-lived, to be honest with you. Not fully taken advantage of, to be perfectly honest. But first off, I love the fact that we're getting to see our Real Soldier team once again. But the fact that Nada's going to be returning, I don't know in what capacity he returns, considering if you guys know the fate of him in Real Soldier. I'm wondering if this is a dream or if he has somehow been kind of brought back to life. But it is going to be taking one place after that series. We're going to have ourselves a nice reunion. It's probably going to pull at my damn heartstrings, to say the least. You know, having to say, having to deal with that Nada storyline already was pretty emotional that we wind up getting. So to have him back, I think was brilliant. I feel like a lot of fans that watch Real Soldier wanted to see more of Nada, wanted to see him maybe succeed or be a part of that Real Soldier team a little bit longer. So I am fascinated to see how they're going to be utilizing him in this movie. Is he just a memory? Is he coming back? Is he going to be pulled away from us again by the end of the movie, or is he in fact kind of coming back for the long run? I'm really hoping that His return certainly pays off, and they utilize it brilliantly. This is in fact going to be the Zenkaiger movie itself here, though. Bosco, yeah, they are going all out when it comes to this. Like when I watch this, I can't lie that I get massive when I watch this. I do get massive sort of I was about to say legendary battle. Fuck that, not legendary battle. 199 great hero battle is what I get feelings of, like seeing the Captain Marvels and the Gokaigers fighting alongside all of the other the teams, if you will. But this is very red inspired for sure in regards to all the major reds from the past 44. We got Bosco returning. Get to see our Kikainoids and our Zenkaiser trapped, clearly getting some help and some power and influence from the other series characters also. I want to know how, and that's and mind you, that's just episode 0, guys. That's just episode 0 of Zenkaiger. That's not even a full. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be set up as episode 0. They do have a title as Zenkaiger the movie, where it says we'll introduce the world to the 45th Super Sentai team. So that might be. I don't know if that's technically going to be episode 0, but I'm definitely, the way that it was described at very early on was that it definitely was going to be very much a number 0, since we're going to be kind of introduced to the Kikainoids for the first time. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that somehow that winds up getting dubbed or at least subbed in English before episode number 1 of Zenkaiger winds up dropping. But listen, we showcased to you guys the 3 new teaser trailers from these upcoming Super Sentai movies. What one of these trailers actually jumped out to you the most? Is there anyone in particular that you're really highly anticipating more than the other? How do you think some of these certainly look? I think they all look pretty stellar. The Real Soldier one, you guys know I wasn't the biggest fan when it comes to Real Soldier, but I wouldn't mind seeing what they wind up doing with this movie if they can make it pretty compelling. They already have me on notice with the return of Nada in here. I'm assuming, if anything, maybe he turns into, well, I guess he probably would he turn into Guy Sorg? Maybe. I wonder if he would have a brand new ability or a brand new armor that he would end up rocking. We'll see. But I am curious to kind of jump back into Real Soldier after a year of it kind of being gone now, to be perfectly honest with you. But everything looks great, to be perfectly honest. When it comes to that movie, they did say here, this comes from JE Fusion. It says, in the upcoming show on the horizon, the latest scans from the movie has revealed primary villains plus returning ones. It says the villain from the movie itself is none other than Super Warumano World, who was inspired by the Black Cross Furrer from Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, which is kind of crazy because we're actually doing reaction videos for Go Ranger on our Patreon account. So the fact that they're going back to a villain that was inspired by the Black Cross Army, if you will, or the Black Cross Furrer from Go Ranger, I think that's cool. I would love to see him on the big screen, to be honest with you. It also says that he will also lead revive Super Sentai villains such as Bosco and Sally. There's also Biohunter Silva there. Zamigo Delma's coming back. Bangray also, and Baseball Mask, while the Zenkaigers will team up with the 45 Red Rangers also. So yeah, a lot of familiar faces are going to be there. That's probably why we saw Bosco popping up in the trailer at the end from Gokaiger. But Zamigo's going to be there also from Lupin Pat too. So it should be fun. It should be fun. I'm kind of curious as to how the Zenkaigers find themselves in this position in the first place, but we'll definitely see, guys. But I'm really pumped for what we have here. But I want to know your thoughts, guys. You get the opportunity to get first look at some of these brand new trailers. Super Sentai Movie Ranger 2021 looks like it's going to be pretty spectacular. I love what they have built up for us so far, but I kind of want to know what you guys think in regards to that, for sure. looks like we've got Dino says Super Sentai is doing big things while Power Rangers is just doing the usual. Well, hey, Power Rangers is working on it. Power Rangers is working on it, right? Super Sentai does have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of an advantage here, but they definitely are taking full advantage of this opportunity to do something just rather unique and really something for themselves. It definitely feels like. So yeah, I'm pumped for it. Blossom says, I can't wait for our Karamashers to kick that witch's butt big time. Yeah, I really want to see what this showdown is going to be like with Minjo. Now that we know that she's the sister to Numijo from Planet Crystallia, she's the one that put the curse on King Ord, and that went down to Mabushina's mother in the Queen, if you will. We saw what that fight with Numijo and Planet Crystallia was certainly like. So I'm expecting. So I'm definitely expecting Minjo to definitely bring it. If Minjo doesn't bring it, talk about being the disappointment sister. Like, I can see why Minjo wasn't promoted to the leader of Jotunheim's army. So yeah. Matthew says, so let me just process something. They are making a returning movie of Real Soldier, but not one of Lupin Ranger versus Pat. Well, to that I say, did we not get a Lupin Pat versus Pat Ranger movie? Maybe they felt like they missed out on the not a storyline from Real Soldier, and they were like, you know what, we do need to give something back to the fans there. Matthew says, my feelings for Lupin versus Pat aside, I am interested in the Real Soldier movie, though I may not see it until a hiatus in Dino Fury. Yeah, I don't know when any of these are actually going to be. I don't really know exactly when these movies are going to be released. I think I missed it on the website itself. But I feel like when it comes to the movies, they tend to take a while before they're actually available in English subbed. So I'm not expecting to see a lot of those really quick, to be honest with you. We definitely will be reviewing those movies for you guys here for sure. So definitely don't worry about that. But I definitely why isn't that popping up? But yeah, I have a feeling it might take us a while to see. I'm just hoping that it doesn't take us a while to see the Zenkaiger episode before it airs. Zamigo, Matthew says Zamigo will be there. I swear if they don't utilize Lupin versus Pat there, I will literally scream in pain. Well, listen, while they're not going to be utilizing the entire team, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Kichiro and Kairi there, as their prospective Red Rangers to their series. Now, whether or not I don't expect them to have speaking parts. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe they're just going to be there to have a big all-out brawl. I don't necessarily think that this is going to be like, hey, let's have a chat with Zamigo, but we'll see. All right, guys. With that out of the way, I think we're going to go on to our very last topic for the day. And of course, we'll go ahead and jump into your live viewer questions. Speaking of which, again, if you guys do have a live viewer question, go ahead and submit them over a+morephenomenal@gmail.com. This is like your 2-minute warning, if you will, in regards to getting your questions in, and we'll go ahead and tackle those at the end of the show. But again, a+morephenomenal@gmail.com. And again, you can submit them over at any time during the week if you have a question or if something happens to pop up in your head during the week, guys. So go ahead and submit those over. This will be our last topic before we get to your questions. And then I'll probably jump back into the live chat with you guys. But last but not least, going into some further Super Sentai talk, we just highlighted the Karamashers, or I should say the Zenkaiger movie for you guys. Now let's go ahead and highlight the Zenkaiger scans for you guys. This is our first set of magazine scans, if you will. that really give us incredible insight into what we could certainly be getting from our upcoming show. And the reason why I wanted to highlight some of these scans, not so much just to kind of fill in some of the blanks, but well, I guess to kind of fill in some of the blanks. But now that we have the names of things, now that we have the connections and things like that, it's a little bit cooler to kind of see what this series is going to be able to provide for us overall. So this is our first Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger magazine scans released online. This comes to us from tokunation.com. I did see these on Twitter quite some time before I actually saw it on Toku Nation, but this is where the pictures where I got them from. So let's go ahead and start highlighting some of these photos here for you guys. And the quality for these pictures will get better. Like, who takes these pictures, by the way? Like, do we have to see their bedroom all the time? Like their bed sheets? Like, I'm just glad that their bed sheets are actually clean. So like, can we like, can they crop some of these images out, blow them up a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? A little bit more professional look, who knows? But shout out to who did provide them for me. I shouldn't even be shitting on this person, because thank you for at least even putting them out there in the first place. So I take that back. Thank you for these scans, to be honest with you. It says, we are drawing closer, ever close to the 45th Super Sentai series, and a plethora of new images have in fact been published. This gives us our best look at the abilities of the Zenkaiger team, specifically the unique Sentai gears that power the Zenkaigers. The reason why I actually put this up here first, this photo, if you look closely, guys, in the top left-hand corner there, you get to see it looks like Zyuohger and Zenkaiger together. It does say here, it says these gears contain the powers of past Super Sentai and can be activated in combat for new skills. For example, Zenkaiger, he is seen using the Zyuohger Sentai gear to gain the wings of Zuo Eagle. And you can kind of see the wings highlighted in red off of his back. You know, that was one of the questions that I had going into this season when we got notice of this Sentai gears. The fact that they're going to be utilizing these gears in their gear slingers to transform, or whatever the case may be. And one of the questions that I had was, I wonder if this means that Zenkaiger himself can change his form, right? Like when he puts in the Sentai gear, is his costume going to change? And it doesn't seem like it just based off of this alone. It's almost like it's implying that his costume stays there, but he just kind of harnesses the power. So maybe it's the sense that wings kind of grow on his back. You know what I'm saying? Like energy wings or whatever the case may be, some sort of power or ability. But I am liking the idea that there's at least a change to either his form or his power set when he uses it. So I'm going to be really fascinated to see how amazing Zenkaiger looks himself once he actually starts popping in some of these different abilities from past Super Sentai shows, to be perfectly honest with you. I do want to see how he utilizes some of these former power sets. And then we got ourselves a nice little view of the team itself. Let's go ahead and highlight let me see. This is another Zenkaiger form here. You get the opportunity to see Kato, the gentleman that is in fact going to be Zenkaiger himself in here. I'm loving this vest, mind you. For some reason, I get Back to the Future vibes when I see it, honestly, but I do love that vest. I truly do. I feel like I've seen the vest a lot in Super Sentai, honestly. I wonder if that's like a marquee suit, but I might have to purchase this vest for myself. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. But I do want to highlight here too. Let's go back to just this is a better look at the Zenkaiger movie that's supposed to be taking place in here. You can clearly see on the right hand side getting some maybe some abilities from Aqua Ranger himself. On the left hand side, you can see some of the returning villains. There's even Bosco on the left hand side at the bottom next to Aqua Ranger in there. So yeah, some really great glimpses as to some characters that we can certainly expect. One of the things though that really jumped out at me from these scans, though, was the attention, the detail that they're paying towards the Kikainoids. You know, they've clearly have been pushing the Kikainoids to be the next sort of big thing that they have going on. And I thought this was a really great set of photos so that you can kind of see just the different forms that they take. So at the top, you see the Kikainoids in their very sort of civilian robotic modes, if you will. Then you get to see at the bottom them transform clearly into their Super Sentai forms. They're, harkening back to their mecha inspirations. But that's not the only form that they wind up taking, ladies and gentlemen. They, in fact, can change in size. I love this photo too. We had talked about several weeks prior. Can these Kikainoids, do they have robot forms, or do they personally grow gigantically? And to be honest with you, they kind of do both. They kind of do both. Not only do they have their civilian mode, but they have their transformation mode for their power up. And then they clearly can go ahead and turn into this form and be your regular mega size forms, which I love the fact that they're their own individual characters here. I mean, we pretty much have 4 Megazords that get to fight against these individual new villains by themselves. And so I love just the shot here of this entire group. And if you look really closely for Majin in the back, you can see she's actually floating on what looks to be like one of the Majin spells, if you will, just kind of under her feet. I love the look of that, honestly. But that's not their only form either, guys. From that form, they can actually turn into their animal forms also. So you've got Jurin, who can turn into a T-Rex. You've got Majin, who turns into her dragon. You got Vroom, who turns into his truck. And of course, you got Gaon, who turns into his lion also. So not only from civilian mode to power mode to giant mode, but giant creature mode also, I think is a brilliant, brilliant design here. And then once you get to this form, guys, they're not done. They're not done. They can combine also. Let me see if I can find a better shot here. Here we've got the Zenkaiger Jurin Gaon, as we have a combination of Gaon and Jurin together in here, forming a Megazord combination of their own. And then we also have it looks like Zenkaiger Vroom Majin in here also. This is the combination between Vroom and Majin in the pink and the blue form. But if you look to the very far left, guys, that's not the only form that they could tackle. They can switch up if they want to, not only from just those two combinations, but if they want to jump back and forth and combine with somebody else, they definitely can. In this, let me see if let me go back to that other shot, because you can see the top left. You've got Zenkaiger Jurin Majin, which is Jurin and Majin together, the red and pink. And at the bottom, you've got Zenkaiger Vroom Gaon, who is the blue and yellow together as well. So they definitely have some really great combinations that they can kind of get into. One of the reasons as to why, even though I'm not a big toy collector fan, I do love the way that the Zords and the Kikainoids plan on being utilized this year. So the mechas really do have my attention, to be perfectly honest with you. And then we have another great shot here. You get to see the Kikainoids civilian mode, the regular mode, and of course, even at the far top, you can see just some of the mechas that they were inspired by also. A little bit of a highlight in regards to maybe the villains that we have here as well for us to look at. I think they're like Tochiendo. I can't remember how they pronounce it, but we do get the opportunity to see some of the villains highlighted in here as well. I don't know, Homeboy's got like a mushroom kind of theme going. We kind of saw this already in the Zenkaiger trailer that we wind up having of I think it was Jurin. I think Jurin was actually fighting this gentleman here with the mushroom top, if you will, and the whole entire city seemed to be kind of covered in mushrooms also. So I'm kind of wondering if the landscape winds up changing every time our Zenkaigers face off against a new monster, if they have that ability to kind of transform maybe the vicinity that they're certainly in, right? I don't know. I have no idea, but I did think it was a pretty interesting set design that they wind up having for that battle here with our main villain and Zenkaiger. So some great photos, guys. Here's some other official photos, if you will, from the upcoming movie, but much better quality. Getting an opportunity to see Jurin up close along with Zenkaiger. They clearly are going to be best friends, or at least get along rather well when it comes to the Zenkaiger movie or Zenkaiger series itself. And then this is the same shot that you guys saw in the the magazine scans, but without all the ads and things like that over it. So a much clearer shot here, if you will, and getting the opportunity to see Majin kind of floating on her magic spell there also. So some really great looks, man. Some really great looks in regards to this. This series is really coming together. Just alone from just seeing the storylines that we've got, the idea of Kato living with his grandmother, who I believe is the owner of like a candy cafe. I believe that might end up being sort of like their main command center, or maybe working underneath the candy cafe, or whatever the case may be. I do think that there's also some sort of maybe mystery in regards to Kato's family, that his parents certainly were scientists. I believe the fact that they are the ones that maybe discovered even the idea of these parallel worlds where these villains are in fact kind of destroying, and I believe his parents actually end up going missing. So I am wondering if his parents are in fact going to be playing a significant role as far as like part of the mystery behind this season, to kind of give Kato a drive and a storyline of his own. But trust me when I say there's plenty that can definitely go ahead and go down when it comes to this season. But I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. The idea of another anniversary season, this time enjoying and celebrating not only past Super Sentai seasons, but specifically showcasing props and love to the mechas over the years. I'm really pumped for it, man. Everything that I've seen so far looks great. My biggest worry, though, and I'm not even going to lie, I love the sound of all the personalities that we're going to be getting from the Kikainoid, but really my main focus and main worry is going to be Kato himself. What kind of red are we going to be getting? Is he going to be a red that's going to grow with me over time, right? I know some people were really quick to kind of judge Juru from Karamazor because we just saw his in sparkleization all the time type of thing, right? And people immediately were like, are we going to get another lucky? Are we going to get another, overly happy sort of red type of thing, right? So I do think that there definitely needs to be some sort of a balance, if you will. So going into this, I am worried about Kato, but again, I will hold my full judgment until we see how his storyline winds up taking him, because I do think that really the red is going to either make or break this season for me. So we'll see how it comes across. But regardless, everything that I've seen, I'm hyped. So I'm definitely going to give this series a try. And again, we definitely will be giving you guys our reviews for Zenkaiger right here. So again, if you are looking for another home, hey, you might have a couple people you already watch reviews for, reaction videos. That's cool. Keep checking them out. But don't mean you can't not join our family. So definitely come on board our family, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, and that big thumbs up if you like our content, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. Let's see here. I think other than that, that will in fact wrap it up for us today in regards so all of our topics that we want to so let's go ahead and get into your guys' live viewer questions and wrap up this show for you guys. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and pull this up. And also, guys, especially if you're in the live chat, if you haven't hit that like button, guys, do me a big favor. Especially if you keep coming back week to week and you love our content here, almost make that a habit. Boom, hit that up, that thumbs up, guys, if you love what we're certainly doing around here. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and pull this up. I think we were trying to get to like 30 likes this week. I don't really know where we're at right now, but yeah, if you definitely trying to get to that 30 like mark this week. Where are these emails at? You know what? Let me check Facebook first, because I know sometimes people like to send stuff that way. He says, okay, Johnny actually emailed him, but he says he's going to put him here in case. So you know what? I will highlight the Gmail one. Since you put the effort in this week, Johnny, to go ahead and submit them over through A+ More Phenomenal, I really appreciate you doing that, man. So yeah, we'll definitely get to those. So I'll go ahead and get to your questions first then, Johnny. Hey, Adam, 3 questions. Do you believe Dino Fury will have the same level of action as the Disney era-like Dino Thunder and SPD? Yeah, I do. I do. I do think that they're going to up the ante a little bit. Now, whether or not it's going to be on the same level as Dino Thunder or SPD, I'm not quite sure. But I have a feeling that they're going to probably bring it maybe a little bit harder than they did last year. You know, if you're introducing to me a brand new original weapon in a dagger, I better see something freaking cool out of that. I feel like they probably tested out some original footage, the uses of more original footage in Beast Morphers. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get to see a lot more original fight footage, if you will, for Dino Fury. Whether or not it's going to be on the same level of action as Disney era Dino Thunder and SPD, I'm not quite sure, but I do think that they are going to put their best foot forward in regards to heightening the action just a little bit more this season. I'm not expecting anything overly epic or huge changes, but I wouldn't be surprised if the fighting is amped up a little bit. Like if you're going to call a show Dino Fury, that action needs to be furious. They need to come out the gate swinging for sure. Second question: if Zenkaiger does get adapted, I can totally see Scrozzle return and be more of a mentor to the Robot Rangers. What do you think? A Scrozzle return, a mentor to the Robot Rangers? That's you asking for a Scrozzle that is now reformed. Whether or not we get a reformed Scrozzle, I don't know, because I don't think Scrozzle has any intentions of being a mentor to anybody that has anything to do with the Rangers, honestly. But if he's been captured, if he's been reformed, if he's like, I would like to get my appeal so I can leave Grid Battle Force, please. Can I please be released here? I've had, good behavior for the past 2-3 years. Can I be released? Unless he's a reformed man, I don't see Scrozzle being a mentor to anybody. If he does come back, I mean, I can see him coming back villain form, but we'll see if Scrozzle has a change of heart while he's being captured by Grid Battle Force. So at this point, no, I don't think so. Do you hope that the original weapons from the figure will be used on Dino Fury? They better be. Don't tease me. Don't tease me with the new weapon and then not showcase it on the show. I think the idea of showcasing it on the show is what will get people to buy it. So if you're going to have an original weapon, you got to have it on the show. So yes, I am expecting them to use it on the show. And Johnny says also my birthday was yesterday. Of course, man. Hey, I think we wish you happy birthday at the top of the hour, Johnny Marrero. But you know what, Johnny? Happy birthday, bro. If I had the voice to sing happy birthday to you, I definitely would. I don't know if people want to sing it to you in the live chat or not. Yeah, if I had the voice to Johnny, I certainly would, man. But I hope I do hope that your birthday yesterday was fantastic, man. Jessica Friedman's got a question. She says, hey, Adam, would you like to see Kamen Rider come back to America one day? And if Power Rangers could cross over with one of the Arrowverse shows, what would you like to see Power Rangers in? Ooh, interesting. So as far as Kamen Rider come back to America one day, I would be open to it. Again, would I like the idea of would I like it to is much different than do I think that it will, right? Do I think that it will? No, I don't. Would I like to see it again? Yeah, why not? Especially after 01, I think an adaptation for that would be pretty spectacular. I would love to see how somebody would adapt a Kamen Rider 01, honestly, for America. I just really love the costume. I really do. Talk about just I don't know. I just really love the modern technological take on it. It looked pretty dope to me. So I would be open to it. I would love to see it. Again, I don't think they will, but I would love to see it. If the Power Rangers could cross over with one of the Arrowverse shows, which would you like to see the Power Rangers in? I would say probably if I had to, I'm leaning towards 2 right now. I was going to say Superman and Lois, but considering the fact that the only reason why I say Superman and Lois is because I would love to see Superman team up with the Power Rangers. I think that would be pretty cool. But considering just how Power Rangers deals with dimensions and things like that, I feel like the Flash would actually work pretty well. I don't really even know if Barry knows the full extent of what the Speed Force can do. But if you talk about Power Rangers jumping in and out of dimensions and different worlds and stuff, I could easily see Barry Allen managing to somehow find his way into a Power Ranger dimension for sure. So yeah, give me the Flash and Power Rangers, and let's give Flash a temporary Power Ranger costume power up in the meantime. In the series Power Rangers SPD, what did you think of Jack and Z being the first two Rangers ever to be Rangers who lived as criminals? Do you find it unique that both of them only became Rangers to escape poverty and avoid prison? I think that's an incredible story, honestly. I really do, especially going back. I don't really see that many stories like that, I feel like, of a person that was really at its lowest, just barely trying to survive and getting an opportunity to be a Power Ranger and put yourself in a better sort of situation. So I did find it really unique for sure. I love the idea of them becoming Power Rangers in order to avoid that. It almost reminds me of because we're doing Gokaiger reviews right now. It definitely reminds me of Luca. The idea that she was lived in poverty and was a little bit of a criminal herself, kind of a thief, right? Trying to living on a planet that really didn't provide her and her family much for anything. So surviving off of scraps and coming from the bottom to becoming a Power Ranger or a Super Sentai. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think stories like that are just really compelling, and I think are kind of needed to show that it doesn't matter what kind of position you find yourself in life, that you can always turn your life around, right, and put yourself in a much better one. So I do think that's something really compelling. Like, not everybody's life story is sunshines and rainbows, right? Like, we don't get the opportunity to live in good old privileged Angel Grove, right, and not have to worry about our biggest worry being, is cheerleading practice canceled tonight. So I do love the fact that they got pretty real with SPD in that fact, to be able to give us see Power Rangers really coming from nothing and becoming something. I think that's brilliant. But yeah, when you ask that question, I immediately go to of Luca from Gokaiger, because her experiencing that same thing. The Dino Thunder and Ninja Storm crossover episode, did you realize that the storyline of both teams fighting against each other used to only happen in Super Sentai, but for Power Rangers, it was unique and had a real reason? I didn't realize that, but now that you mention it, I can actually kind of see that. We're so used to the idea of them just kind of yeah, that kind of stuff only usually happen Super Sentai, but I do love anytime we get to see a Power Ranger team facing off against one another, whether that be like, I don't know if we'll get those type of things though anymore, right? Like, I feel like Power Rangers always recognize Power Rangers, like great recognize great, you know what I mean? Like, good guys recognize good guys. I don't know if there would be a reason for them to fight with each other nowadays, unless maybe they're up to being controlled or something like that. I would be down for it though. I would love to see our Rangers face off against each other, even if it is under some sort of mind control. You know what I mean? What Power Ranger in a Super Sentai series do you think is underrated, doesn't get enough love? I think Jungle Fury should probably get maybe a little bit more love Power Ranger wise. I enjoyed Jungle Fury when I watched it. It may not be for everybody, but I wouldn't mind seeing uh Jungle Fury get just a little bit more love there. I almost want to go back and see Samurai. And that's not even the season so much, it's as it is the cast. Like, there are just some really great underrated actors and performers in really bad seasons of Power Rangers that you know what I mean? Like, I feel terrible when I talk about like Megaforce and things like that, because like for me, I loved Jake and Gia. I really did. I thought the actors that played them did a pretty good job, and did as good of a job as could with what they were given, And so anytime I do kind of crap on Megaforce, I feel bad, because there are some really great actors that really came out of some of those terrible seasons though. As far as Super Sentai seasons that I think is underrated, I think Go Busters is slept on for sure. I think Go Busters is slept on. I feel like people that watch Go Busters love it, but I wonder if, I don't know how many people have watched Go Busters though, but I would recommend it. I'm trying to think of another one that I've watched that I feel like people aren't the biggest fans of. I feel like, yeah, that's the only ones that I got off the top of my head as of right now. Marcelino. Marcelino did give me uh, another email saying, I apologize if I got too political. So let's see what you see here, Marcelino. Marcelino says, I hope Dino Fury gives the Rangers uniforms. I also hope that Hasbro establishes the Rangers as multiple teams. Red, blue, and pink are their own team. Black and green are their own team. And gold is solo, similar to how Ninja Storm was composed of Wind Rangers, Thunder Rangers, and Green Samurai. I definitely get what you're saying there, Marcelino. Looking at Real Soldier, it did feel like that at times. Real Soldier was very heavy on the three Rangers hanging out together because they grew up, I think, lifetime friends. And then you had Bamba and his brother, who clearly grew up together also. So the black and green by themselves. And then, Gold was kind of busy trying to find a wife of his own. And then they would kind of all come together to go ahead and face. Like, they definitely did have their own adventures outside of being Power Rangers together. Now, whether or not that's how they're going to utilize them in Dino Fury, not quite sure. But I definitely get what you're saying there. Kind of holding to that same format. Maybe we'll see. You say, Q Ranger didn't get adapted because it has 12 Rangers. Giving everyone proper screen time and development would be complicated. It would be, for sure. Like when I watched Dino Charge, the second season, I wonder if that's what hurt it so much, was the addition of so many Rangers. Sometimes writers are not that great at ensemble casts. It's not easy to be able to juggle so many characters, so you're probably right. Development could be complicated in regards to that also. You said, I miss the old days with when 6 Rangers had their own morph sequence and morph calls and titles. It made them feel more special, but now in recent years, they just feel like an average member of the team. I get what you're saying. If you had to rename the 6 Ranger for Samurai to current, what would their names be? If I had to rename the 6 Rangers, I mean, I've always just named them after their colors. Gold Ranger, Silver Ranger. So I mean, I just changed the color scheme. Honestly, I probably wouldn't do too much thinking in regards to that. You say, I do hope that Power Rangers can one day talk about serious topics that they don't talk about a lot, similar to what The Boys and Arrowverse do. But I want it to feel natural and not forced on, so that way it doesn't turn into a political show for kids. Examples: have an alien ranger face prejudice from humans. The team could doubt that their female leader would be a group at leading the team. If Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger gets adapted, talk about topics like being wrongly accused, over policing, freedom and security, and application of force, and have a ranger that is trigger happy but faces the consequences once he accidentally injures one of his teammates. Do you agree or disagree? Ooh, I feel like you could do some of those. In kid form to kind of get the message across. I don't necessarily know if you can maybe pull off all of those. When you connect The Boys and Arrowverse to the Power Rangers, it's just completely different, 2 different storytellings. I don't know if you can get away with that with, say, in a kid version of Power Rangers. You might be able to get away with some of that in regards to, say, in Jonathan Entwistle reboot reimagining. Bringing a little bit more realism, if you will, to the show. I don't think that it's unnecessary to bring up some of those topics in a kid show. The idea of maybe people doubting the fact that a female leader would be a great leader for the team, right? I think you could somehow incorporate that into a kid show. The idea of equality, the understanding it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, right? That you can be a leader. I think there are certain ways you can definitely do that. An alien ranger facing prejudice from humans, you could easily put that in a kid television show for sure if you wanted to. And still be able to make it impactful and important to what's going on in today's world, right? Without making it so in your face. But listen, I think there are just going to be people out there in general that are just going to be triggered about anything that you bring realistically into Power Rangers. There's always going to be people out there that are going to say, I don't want politics into my shows, where it's, unfortunately, people don't realize that's not politics. That's real life. That's real life, ladies and gentlemen, right? Like, the things that you bring up are things that people deal with on a regular basis. That's not pushing a political agenda on you. That's bringing awareness to the struggles that people of all different shapes and colors deal with on a regular basis, right? So, but there will be people that will see storylines like that and will automatically be triggered. But you know what? Power Rangers has always been that type of show that includes diversity and inclusion. So I do think that there are elements, Marcelino, that you are talking about that, yes, I do think that can be utilized or written significantly for a kid show, but still get that same point across. Trigger happy, facing the consequences for accidentally hurting somebody. Like, I don't know if you want to put that in the kid show, who knows? But I do think that there are ways that, yeah, you can incorporate things like that. Like, look at Black Lightning. Black Lightning on Arrowverse does a really good job of doing that. That never feels very much in your face. It just feels very on point for what that show is trying to deliver for its fans. You know what I mean? So there is a way to do it. There definitely is a way to do it without getting too political. But make no mistake, Marcelino, you will trigger some people. It's just human behavior, sadly. But thank you very much for that question, man. I really appreciate you asking it. Let's see here. Dino Real Soul, AJ, aka AJ, has a couple questions. When Power Ranger Dino first debuted, what did you think about the Mighty Morphin cast changing to brand new powers for the first time? And do you still think that the season finale should have kept its plans instead of suddenly forgetting they existed when Zeo moved to Turbo? I don't really remember the transition from Zeo to Turbo. I just remember the Zeo show and then the Turbo movie, and then just coming into the show itself and just being like I think I might have thrown up in my mouth a little bit talking about it just now. But when it did debut, I thought it was cool that they changed colors. I really did. I was like, it really just spiced up the franchise for me. We gotten so used to them being the same costumes. I mean, they did change up a little bit, with the ninjutsu stuff that we wind up getting, but, swapping out the green for the White Ranger, but everybody else was still the same colors and things like that. So to change it up, I love Zeo, maybe because of that change. And also because I felt like they finally started giving Nakia and Adam and Steve like actual roles and like character development they can really kind of sink their teeth into. And I really feel like that's the season where they really became sort of their own characters, if you will. So I loved it. I thought it was a great a sense of freshening up the season, if you will, or the series. What are some of your favorite moments from Power Rangers in Space and RPM? What do you wish was handled better and added to the series? Wish you had happened. I always love the relationship between Iggy and Dr. K. Iggy for me was like I always loved how they incorporated Iggy as the comedic factor, right? Like we've talked about the idea of not necessarily always needing a comedy duo, that if you have great story writers, that you can easily make one of the Rangers sort of the comedic factor, if you will. Like Steel for me was that for Beast Morphers, but I always love what Iggy wound up bringing as the Green Ranger, and love just his I love that storyline between him along with Dr. K. Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying Ziggy? I thought maybe I was saying Iggy. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I did always love that storyline between those two. As far as like some of my favorite moments in space, anything with the Ecliptor in it, I absolutely loved. I always loved the Corone and Anjos storylines. Anytime that you get a little bit of flashback sequences or learn about their storylines, those were always appealing for me. And then for me, of course, just the epicness. Just the epicness of seeing Andros sacrificing Zordon at the end, and just the culmination of it all for me. Like that's why I absolutely loved In Space as much as I did, honestly. Let's see. You also say, how do you feel when Adam returned for the 15th anniversary crossover in Operation Overdrive? And do you feel when how do you feel when Adam returned for the 15th anniversary crossover in Operation Overdrive? And do you think it was better than any of the crossovers in the Neo Saban season, leading up to the Dino crossover in Beast Morphers? Ooh. It's been a minute since I've watched it. It has been a minute since I've watched it. that crossover event, I just remember thinking to myself, Adam's got a pair of balls on him, bro. Like to try and morph with that cracked Ranger coin, and still putting his life on the line. I thought that was some ballsy shit. To see the team that he winds up putting together too, brilliant. I loved it. I did enjoy it. I do remember enjoying it. I don't know if I mean, would you consider Forever Red a crossover? Because if Forever Red's a crossover event, then no, I can't put them on the same playing field like that. But I did enjoy, like, Adam Park for me is just Adam's just an MVP, and not just because he has my name, but I always loved Adam. I don't know how Johnny Bosch loves conventions, like sitting on panels. I wonder if he gets bored just sitting up there. But I do love seeing him at conventions too, and him all opening up and talking a little bit about it. But I did love that crossover event for sure. You also say, do you think Dino Fury possibly not getting a team up or crossover will be a missed opportunity or a good choice, considering not everyone was pleased with the crossovers in Power Rangers as of late? I mean, I can't say it's a missed opportunity. I mean, a missed opportunity is when you have the ability to do it, but you don't do it. Whereas here, they probably didn't get the opportunity to do it because of the fact of the pandemic, right? So I wouldn't say it's a missed opportunity. I appreciate them wanting to kind of keep everybody safe and not being able to pull the trigger on it. I mean, it will suck that we won't get one, but in this case, I gotta be understanding to it. I can't crap on Hasbro or them for not giving us one just because of the fact that we're all struggling with the same thing. You know what I mean? If they do give us one, that's great. I'm glad that they surprised us with one, even if it's a small mini one, a couple cameos here or there, one or two. You know, I give that to me. But as far as like a big crossover event, big team up, as much as I want to see it, I don't think that we're going to see one based off of the things that Simon Bennett has talked about with quarantining everybody, coming in for 2 weeks, keeping them around on set for like a day, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then having to go back. It probably just didn't make sense. And just the cost of having to spend. If we get one, I hope Simon Bennett has kept it a really great secret, but I'm not keeping my hopes up. L'Oreal's got a couple questions. Wasn't the preview for Caramesh's new episode for this coming week wacky or what? Have not seen it, L'Oreal. So I will have to go back and check it out. Though seeing the Rangers in cat ears is kind of silly. Okay, well, I haven't seen it, so I will go ahead and check it out. For Dino Fury, what do you think their morphing call is? Too Dino, Too Furious? No. Too Fast, Too Dino Furious? I don't know, maybe something along those lines. Too Dino, Too Serious? Yeah, Too Fast, Too Dino Furious. One of those probably is the morphing call. I don't know. I don't really know. I was a big proponent of, you know, if they came out with Dino Knights, fight for your rights. You know, corny as can be, I know, but listen, it's Power Rangers, man. It's Power Rangers. But we're not getting Dino Knights anymore, so we're stuck with Dino Fury. So yeah, I'll think about that. I will definitely think about that, L'Oreal. All right. I think other than that, guys, I think that's probably going to do it here in regards to our our questions in regards to our live viewer questions, ladies and gentlemen. So if anything, let me go ahead and just jump into some of the live chat here. Pick a couple things that you guys were talking about, and then we'll go ahead and just wrap up for here. Let's see here. The Egg Game 10 says, hey, Adam, I don't know if you follow George Jr. on Twitter. I do. But recently he's saying that some Disney era production elements are returning in Dino Fury, even showing a pic of colored smoke on set. I did see that. The colored smoke, even the explosion. I think I saw him with the two photos back to back. Yeah, I do follow George Jr. Probably don't watch his YouTube stuff as much as I probably should, honestly. But I do follow him on Twitter, and I definitely do see things that he posts. But listen, I would love it. I believe we have been getting explosions, if I'm not mistaken, but I would love to see colored smoke on set once again. I was always a big fan of that. I mean, that was always one of my favorite parts of Super Sentai crossovers, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Johnny Marrero says, I can't wait for Zenkaiger. I hope we get more Megazord battles set in the quarry. Oh, that should be interesting to see what they have up their sleeves for the Super Sentai set fights pieces. Alexa says, can you do reaction for Q Ranger after Dino Fury, please? Well, right now I have Shin coming after Gokaiger. I will say this now. Q Ranger is a season that I have not watched fully. I want to say I probably got through like the first 5 or 6 episodes of Q Ranger, and then I wind up just falling off of it. So I do want to go back. That is a season that we have not reviewed on our channel in the past. So you know what? It is a possibility. After Dino Fury, we'll see. You know, because of the fact that we're not going to have, well, I don't really know what the future of Power Rangers is going to hold. But you know, Alexis, if after Dino Fury, if we have, you know, another year or so, or if we're not going to be getting to say a new Power Ranger series right afterwards, right? Like once Dino Fury wraps up, if Hasbro is, you know, if they take a break for a little bit to focus on what Jonathan Entwistle is working on, if there's a little bit of a break and we you know, don't have another kid Power Ranger show to jump right into, then maybe I will add Q Ranger to that list on top of the current stuff that we're doing for Super Sentai, along with the classic stuff that we're doing for our Patreon. Maybe something to kind of hold that place of Dino Fury. I don't know. We'll see, Alexis. I'll play it by ear, but thank you very much for the suggestion at least. Dustin, what's up, Dustin? Appreciate you coming through. Does Power Rangers like non-human Rangers? Maybe Robo Knight. Was it Robo Redbot? And then we got Steel. So yeah, maybe it's the idea of them pushing technology, right? Like being at the forefront of the future, if you will. Maybe that's why they have so many non-human Rangers that they like so much. You do say, he says, because I'm thinking it is possible that that's one of the complications. That is why they're not sure about adapting Q Ranger. Either that or it's how ridiculously big the toy line is. Yeah, I mean, really the only thing that I've heard was the idea of like the Yellow Ranger being too dangerous of a toy for them to produce type of thing. Which I know people laugh at, and they're like, no, that wouldn't stop them. But listen, even though I'm not a parent, you know, kids leave their damn toys laying around all the time. You know how serious of an injury that would be? Like a parent, just like if their kid, of all the toys for their kid to leave out, you leave out the Power Ranger with the big ass horn sticking out of its helmet for mom to come out of the bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning to get some water, and she steps on this damn toy and injects this nose into the base of her foot and tramples over something, trips over a cat in the process, falls through the damn glass coffee table, cuts herself up. Look, guys, I'm just telling you, I'm just showcasing you what one single toy of Power Ranger can do. Because trust me, look, I stub my toe, I become a baby. I stand on something and I prick myself on my, you know, on the bottom of my foot, I become a baby, man. Like, no, don't put that in my child's hands, please. Marcelino says, Boom Studios made a comic book about Justice League teaming up with the Power Rangers. Absolutely. But because of the fact that the question asked about the Arrowverse, I was thinking about Arrowverse television show, individual television shows per se, than actual DC overall. But yes, Justice League does have a comic book crossover with Power Rangers, which I should probably pick up. But listen, I mean, we do have ourselves an Arrowverse version of the Justice League. I wouldn't mind seeing that. If they want to do a crossover event, we need a new crossover event idea, guys. Let's go ahead and do the Justice League versus Power Rangers Arrowverse next year. Alexa says, which Super Sentai season is better, Q Ranger or Tokuger? Haven't checked out Q Ranger, so I gotta go with Tokuger. Tokuger for me is just, it's up there. It's like my top three. Blossom says Jake and G are my favorite too. Yeah, they're really the ones in Megaforce that I'm just immediately just kind of pulled to. I think their performances are great. I think they got great chemistry. They really just work really well off of each other. So I was always really impressed with Jake and Gia. Dustin, Adam, which animal character in action-packed series is better in your opinion? Garu from Q Ranger or Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy? Garu, is that the wolf guy? Let me see. Oh yeah, Garu. That's right. I remember what I think he's like super depressed or upset with something like I don't know if it's something happened to him in his life or he's just not believing in himself or he's really down on himself. I think when Lucky bumps into him and kind of gives him, I think that's, I can't remember. Again, guys, I barely have watched Q Ranger. So Garu, I can't really say what his storyline turned out to be, but Rocket Raccoon is just an icon, man. He's just an icon to me. So Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll lean that way each and every time. But again, that's just me not knowing anything about Garu really. So maybe if I'll learn a little bit more Garu, I'll have a different opinion on that. A couple of things you guys are saying here. Dino Supercharged did suffer from too many Rangers. That's why we had no crossover, too much filler. Yeah, also suffered from focusing on filler episodes. Yeah, I definitely fell off. I think I went back into my old Dino Charge stuff. I had done a review for all of season 1, and I think like even half of season 2 or a portion of season 2, and then I even personally fell off. It was just, I wasn't the fan of the second half. Matthew says, yeah, I think Adam was a really great Ranger. Yeah, I thought he was a really great Ranger too, man. He's definitely up there for me. Johnson, what's up, Johnson? Appreciate you coming through. Johnson says, I'm honestly surprised that we were at episode 41 of Care Measure and we got an episode like this. Uh-oh, he's laughing. Listen, I haven't watched it yet, Johnson, but that doesn't give me you're making me concerned now, man. You're making me concerned now. But listen, this is probably the downside of a pandemic. You know, I haven't watched the episode yet. Maybe it's goofy and off the wall. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to hit me yet, but we'll see. I probably won't get the opportunity to watch it until like Sunday or Monday. But I'll definitely go ahead and check it out because we do drop our Cara Major reviews every Tuesday morning to celebrate Toku Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time, we usually drop Cara Major reviews for you guys. But I'll get into it. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of episode 40. I think it did have some good real life storyline points that I think people can relate to, but it was still just creepy and odd and weird, and I just don't know what they were. I just don't know what they were going for in episode 40. So one of the things that I said in my episode 40 review was that it left a really bad taste in my mouth, considering the fact that I think we're only going to get 45 episodes this year. So for episode 40 to hit me that way and know I only had like 5 more episodes to go was a little bit of a bummer. I was really hoping that within the next couple of episodes that they kind of really start ramping it up. Not that they haven't, because they do a really great job of ramping it up into great storylines. But I really would like to see the last few episodes in here be pretty impactful. So here's to 42, 43, 45, or 42, 43, 44, and 45 being pretty stellar kind of going forward. But we'll see. Listen, Kara Major hasn't let me down at all, considering the pandemic that they've had to do with cutting off maybe a number of episodes that they wanted to film or highlight. It is what it is, man. It shows tend to suffer. I mean, we saw that the Arrowverse shows really suffer at the end of their previous seasons because they just couldn't complete it due to the pandemic shutting down their production and things like that. So we'll see how Kara Major has managed to work around this pandemic, and if 45 episodes is still going to be a significant amount of episodes that they need to tell the story properly. We'll definitely have to see in regards to that. Dustin says, I'm quite surprised that there hasn't been any episode title reveals for the first few episodes of Dino Fury. I think once we get a release date, maybe they'll start dropping those. I wouldn't be surprised once the release date drops if we wind up, if Futon Critic and these other sites for these TV listings then start kind of getting their information and start kind of releasing it. Like it's not quite. I'm wondering if we get some of the title episodes before the first season even starts. Like I know we're sometimes used to getting that in between the second season, right? Because the shows start beginning early over in the UK and internationally before they even come here. I'm trying to remember if we get that same leaking of titles before the first season of a new season. So we'll see, Dustin. We'll see if we get some here within the next couple of weeks. Frankie says Dino Fury Nick show February and March. Yeah, definitely going to be airing on Nick. I'm still leaning February 27th. If I had to put some money down, that's where I'm going to put my money at. Dustin says, Adam, do you think Dino Fury will make the Crayon Power Ranger counterpart a girl? Because I could see it since he was the hot pink armor piece and his body is quite slim. I can see Crayon being adapted into a girl. I definitely could. When I always thought of Crayon, I always considered him like a little kid anyway, like a little boy. So yeah, I can see that. I would be okay with either. Malik, what's up, Malik? Appreciate it. Says the main villain of Power Rangers hasn't been revealed yet. Nope, not at all. We've just kind of gotten showcased to us the villains from Real Soldier, like Weisel has popped up. We know Crayon's going to be in there. Tank Joe, aka Boom Tower, is going to be in the show too. So we have seen those generals utilized. But yeah, the main villain itself has not shown up. Whether that's going to be Precious from Real Soldier, whether that's going to be the main villain, if you will, or if we're going to get ourselves something original, we'll definitely have to wait and see. All right, guys. I think other than that, that's probably going to go ahead and wrap it up for us here today in regards to our episode for A+ Hero Report. So, guys, thank you very much for certainly joining us here once again for yet another episode of A+ More Phenomenal. I love kicking off my weekends with you guys. I seriously do. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me this Saturday afternoon. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend and maybe a couple other things you guys wind up having planned. But before we do go ahead and get out of here again, just a quick thing of business to keep the lights on around here. If you do want to go ahead and continue to support our channel, if you love what we're doing here, we definitely would love your continued support. Check us out at patreon.com/A+opinions. Go ahead and check out some of the tiers. See if any of those certainly interest you. If you want to do your part in allowing us to continue to grow as a channel, guys, because as of right now, we do have early access availability to our Zenkaiger reviews. Again, we're up to episode number 17, whereas on YouTube, we're only up to episode number 8 at this point. night. So you are getting a few weeks for sure of advantage here. And then, of course, we have our exclusive only to Patreon that will not see the light of day on YouTube. This is, in fact, going to be for our Go Ranger reaction videos as well. And there's a ton of other stuff up there for you guys to certainly enjoy. Like, for instance, I know that Stuart's doing Dragon, was it Kamen Rider Dragon Knight or Ryuki, or maybe even both of them for our Patreon as well. So yeah, a ton of stuff for you guys to definitely go ahead and enjoy. But other than that, that's going to do it for us here. We will, in fact, be back later on this week. We've got Toku Tuesday here on our channel for you guys. We got some Throwback Thursday videos coming your way. I managed to find my Super Sentai Strongest Battle miniseries that wind up airing a couple of years ago before the debut of Real Soldier. Those, in fact, will be dropping next Thursday. So definitely go ahead and check those out. And if you want to, heck, maybe go ahead and try and find those episodes if you haven't had the opportunity to even watch that mini crossover or that mini series event that they wind up happening. Again, Super Sentai Strongest Battle is what it's titled. Those will in fact be dropping on Thursday for you guys. And then, of course, we'll be back next Saturday to wrap up this week or this upcoming week's stories for Power Rangers and Tokusatsu in general, ladies and gentlemen. But other than that, that's going to do it for us here, as always. So in the meantime, if you guys haven't subscribed to us yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and definitely go ahead and find us on social media right here at A Plus Opinions. Very active over on Twitter, as well as our main page over on Facebook. You can also check us out on Instagram as well as Twitch. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and until next time, keep it A plus. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.